Welcome to another episode of the Cherish Each Moment podcast. This is episode number 21, and this is going to wrap up the first full season documented on this podcast. There's a lot to catch you up on. I'm really excited to close out the season here officially, let you know how it ended for me and how the snow days have begun. Let's get right to it. All right, welcome back. It's been a little while. There's a reason for that. I've been busy. Typical excuse. Lots going on. Been traveling a little bit and just kind of wrapping things up, getting busy at work, getting into the swing of things, and just kind of buttoning everything up from this lawn mowing season, getting everything winterized and put away, and getting into the snow season. And we've already had some good snow already, which is just great news. And for those of you who've been keeping score, know that the entire western United States, for the most part, has been dealing with a pretty extreme drought. And it's the snow that we rely on for our water source when it comes to water in general out here. It comes from the snow. So getting snow is a big deal for us. So we'll get into a little bit more of that later. But to get started, as usual, I want to catch you up on what's been going on and basically how I finished up the lawn season. There's definitely no more mowing happening until spring. The lawn is blanketed in a couple inches of snow, even right now. So to finish things up, I'll just kind of recap on my notes here. I always have some notes prepared for the podcast, and depending on how long it takes me to put together a podcast after the last episode, these notes change and things change. So I'm going to go through my notes. We'll see how it goes, and we'll get you caught up. So the putting green is down to 1/4 inch, which is just great. That was my goal. It probably needs to be mowed again because the bent grass grows so fast. I'm going to have to get used to mowing out there regularly. And I do have plans to put a shed back there and keep equipment back there. That's going to be happening first of spring. We're going to do a concrete slab just beyond the putting green. If you've kept up with me on social media, seen Instagram posts and stories, you've probably seen the area staked out. There's 4 stakes back there just kind of marking where that's going to go. But it's going to go in the back corner of the backyard there, and it's going to be a pretty decent-sized shed. I'm looking at 16 by 24 for a shed, so pretty good size. It's going to hold a lot of stuff, which is what I need because my garage is full, and I've reached my breaking point, and plans are in place and the ball's rolling and a shed is on the way. So that's going to be good. The putting green, I was able to get it down to 1/4 inch, and it's just incredible how much better bent grass looks the shorter you cut it. It's just amazing. Even at 1/2 inch, it looks shaggy. And you mow it down to 1/4 inch and it's just tight. It's tight. So I'm really anxious to get into spring and start getting it down to 1/8 inch. You can roll a golf ball on it at 1/4 inch. It rolls decently. Golf ball definitely looks good on it at 1/4 inch. And I can only imagine what 1/8 inch is going to feel like. I do need to get some sand. I need to top dress, and that's all going to happen too. I'm going to have some sand and just refine areas on the green that have settled and low spots, and I'm going to do some more seeding first of spring. That's another nice thing about bent grass too, is it grows from seed so fast. You have sprouts in 4 days. So filling in some areas that need to be filled in Won't take very long. Temperatures coming back up, getting fertilizer and water on it regularly, which it's really not used to. It's going to fill in really fast. I'm not worried about that at all. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, warm days, like I said, are very much in the rearview mirror. We are below freezing every night. We've had snow, and the snowblower has gone to work already. It really took until about a week before Thanksgiving to get significantly cold. I was mowing the lawn into December. I think for end of the first week of December, I was mowing the lawn. I think the last day I mowed the lawn was December 7th or something like that. I mowed the putting green. I've never done that before. It's crazy. I'm not complaining. You guys know that. I don't complain about that. I like to mow. What I will complain about, though, the cats. Well, I think just one of them, but I have a cat problem. We have 2 cats. Our family has 2 cats. I take no responsibility for them, except having to maintain the issues that they create in the backyard. For whatever reason, they don't like to use the litter box that's right next to their house, that's on the deck outside the back door. They like to litter all over the backyard and on the putting green. There's a couple of sandy spots on the putting green that look like a litter box to them. So, got to figure that out. I've tried using some pepper. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some really nasty smelling hot pepper. Cayenne pepper, I think is what it was. I sprinkled that pretty generously over the putting green, and especially in the areas where they like to go, before I left on a trip. And when I came back, I was really hoping that it would have worked, but it didn't work. There was still some little presence in the same spots. So pepper is out of the equation. We've got to figure something out. And a lot of people suggested doing a motion sensor sprinkler on them. I like that idea. I'm not opposed to that idea. I think it's really funny. I'm even up to filming it. But you can't do that in the winter here. Stuff will freeze, just cause more problems. That's okay. I don't think it's an issue right now with the snow. But getting into spring, it's going to be something that's going to need to be addressed quickly. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned for that. Got the Time Master cleaned up. It's put away. It's winterized. When I winterize my machines, I usually do general maintenance tasks. I will clean it up really good. I'll pull the blades off and clean underneath the deck. And I'll pull the belt cover off the top of the deck and clean out anything that's accumulated there around the belts. I'll sharpen the blades. I'll change the oil. And then you can do other things too if you want to check the condition of the spark plug, air filter, all of that. You can do that too. And that's what I do. I clean it up as best I can. I get it ready to go for next spring. So I like to change the oil in the fall. Some people like to do it in the spring. Some people don't like to do it at all. But I like to do it in the fall just because that way when spring rolls around, I don't have to change the oil. It's done. It's ready to go. It's got clean oil. It's ready to go for another season. Blades are sharp, ready to go for another season. And that's why I like to do it in the fall. So excited for that, ready to go. I changed the oil in the Greensmaster too. I don't believe that it needs a sharpening at this point. Probably at the end of this next season it will. I'll just have to keep an eye on that. Kind of still getting a feel for the cadence of sharpening on that. I'm only mowing 2,000 square feet, and so it really isn't getting used as much as it normally would on a golf course, so it doesn't need to be sharpened nearly as much. But that's okay. It saves me money because it's like $125 to have that done. The John Deere needs it done, though. I'll tell you that. Needs it bad. I've got a new bed knife for it that I have to put on, and that will need to be shaped to the reel, and the reel needs to be sharpened as well. But other than that, it's ready to go. I've got a new air filter assembly for it that I need to put on, and I've got an inner tube that should be here by now. I literally brought the John Deere home just minutes before sitting down to record this podcast, and it's good to have it home, but having to put air in the tire to move it is just a pain. So I thought it would be here by now. I ordered it several weeks ago. I actually forgot about it until tonight. So I need to call up the John Deere dealer probably next week and see what's going on. Hopefully we can get it before the Christmas break. But it's nice to have everything put away, ready to go. Next season's pretty well planned, and we're just playing the waiting game. But as far as snowfall goes, like I said, we're off to a good start. The valleys have gotten more snow already this year than probably the last 2 or 3 years combined, if that just kind of puts it into perspective for you. And the way I look at it, if the valleys are getting the snow like we have been, then the mountains are getting pounded. And that's what's most important, is that the mountains get the snow. Because the mountains hold the snow. That's where all the reservoirs are. That's where all the snow melt comes. It comes down the rivers, down the mountains, into our reservoirs, and that's what's used for our water source. So hopefully we get some more. I'd like to get up to the slopes at least once this year and go skiing. I do like to do that. I learned how to do that a couple of years ago. I didn't grow up here in Utah, so I'm not really partial to that, but I do like skiing, and if I have a chance to get up there, now would be a good time. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully more snow's on the way. It really does make a difference during the spring and summer months when it comes to the conversation around water and conservation and all that stuff. And as many of you know, I have been pretty open and vocal about conservation and good watering practices and what my strategies are for conserving water, and I've done videos on that, and I've had several discussions here about that. So hopefully the practice of conservation continues to improve amongst the residents and the citizens around the western United States and everywhere too. I mean, I think it's a general good practice for everybody, whether you have unlimited water resources or limited like we do. I do believe that a lot of people around here have changed their schedules and realized that they were maybe overwatering, which most people do. And I think there are still a lot of people who need to change and need to get that figured out. So we'll see about that. But that pretty much catches you up. I would like to tell you a little bit more about the Toro 724 Snowmaster really quick before we go to a break and talk about what's keeping me busy during the winter months, because I do have some things that are going on here and some things that I've found to keep me busy. But I do want to do another review on this snowblower, the Snowmaster. I've been using the Snowmaster for about 3 or 4 years now. I'm on my second model. I was given a new one from Toro last year or the year before. The same exact model that I had already purchased. It had been improved a little bit, and I did a video on that. And I gave the one that I had to my dad. And I've had another chance to use it again this year, and my thoughts have pretty much stayed the same. I've had some new experiences with it. I think it's a great snowblower, and it works really well. I had drifts in my driveway that were about a foot deep, and it handled them like a champ. That's probably the deepest snow it's ever been put up against, and I was very happy with how it performed, and it did a really good job. I did manage to clog the chute twice, I think. It was very sticky snow. It wasn't the light fluffy snow. It was kind of icy, wet snow. It's kind of hard to explain. Normally the snow here is very soft, very fluffy, very light. But this was a little different. This was a little heavier, a little stickier, and going into drifts that deep, it was taking on a lot more than it's used to, so a lot more volume was coming up through the impeller and into the chute, and so having to deal with the clog there wasn't too bad. I had a small piece of rebar that I just kind of used to clear it out, and it worked out fine. So my dad did mention, too, that for his experience, to avoid clogging, he did a half pass with his, and he said that worked out really well. He also said he wants to get chains for the tires. I think the tires work really good. They're better than most other models. They have the really deep grooves on them to really get nice grip, and they're pneumatic tires, which is better than the flat treaded plasticky ones like you see on some lawnmowers. Those don't need to be on snowblowers. I don't like that. But he wants to get some chains for his. I guess his was sliding around a little bit. It was a very icy base to the snow, and that was expected. It was forecasted, so we knew it was coming, but at the same time, it's just kind of hard to deal. So I'll be curious to see if he goes through with that and how it works out for him. He says he wants to get Toro ones, so I guess we'll get to see how that goes and see how that plays out over time. But I don't think there's any snow forecasted over the next couple days. I'll have to take a look at the good old weather app here. It looks like we've got some rain forecasted for end of next week, like going into Christmas. So that might very well turn into snow, and we might have a snowy white Christmas, which will be very nice. But yes, I'm still very happy with the Snowmaster. I'd recommend that. And I think it's a great machine, especially for areas like mine where you don't get like crazy deep snow. But if you get snow up to a foot, maybe a little more, maybe 14 inches, 15 inches, it'll handle it no problem. But that will go ahead and wrap up the segment for what's going on here, and we'll come back and talk about how I'm staying busy during the winter. So I would say over the last couple months or so, not sure how long this video's been out, but over the last little while, I've been getting messages from friends, family, people that have been following me on social media, sending me this video. I think it originated on TikTok, of this guy playing this lawn mowing simulating game on the Xbox. And it's a video from his wife or his girlfriend's, I think it's his wife, but she's filming him playing this game, and she just doesn't get it, which is hilarious. And people send this to me, like, you've seen this is so funny, you should get this game. And I'm like, I have this game. Have you guys seen this game, the lawn mowing simulator game? It's available on Xbox or Microsoft on the PC. I have an Xbox. I've been playing this game. It's keeping me pretty well sane as far as scratching the itch, and it's fun. It's exactly what you would expect it would be. It's a simulator, and it's pretty realistic. In fact, it's so realistic, I wouldn't recommend playing it during the actual lawn season, because with as much time as you'd be spending playing this game and mowing these fake lawns, you could go buy a lawnmower and get some yards to mow and actually make real money doing it. It's very realistic. The whole premise behind the game is that you are starting a lawn mowing company from scratch. And you start with one riding mower. You get to choose from, I think, 3 different riding mowers. One that bags, one that side discharges, and one that mulches. And you get to pick your company logo and your company name, and you get to pick your characters' features and characteristics. And you pick up contracts to go mow people's lawns. I think it's set in the old British area. I can't remember, but over in Europe somewhere. But that's the whole premise of the game. You pick up contracts to go mow lawns, and it tells you how long you should take to mow the lawn, what the height of cut should be for the lawn, etc. And you go and fulfill that contract, and as long as you don't miss any spots or don't mow over any flowers or anything or break anything, you make money. And you build up more contracts, and then you actually build up a crew, and you have a crew that's running out on all these jobs, and it's basically running a business, a lawn mowing business. It's pretty cool. And it goes into the details of actually getting out of your truck, walking up to the lawnmower, getting on the lawnmower, turning the lawnmower on, adjusting the throttle, lifting up the blades, putting the blades down, engaging the blades. And then you have to control your speed as you go, and you kind of have to get a feel for how the mower actually drives. And after you're done mowing, you can go drive your mower back up on your trailer, park it, turn it off, go pick up your string trimmer, and go trim around the edges and clean things up. Very much what you would expect from a lawn mowing simulator. It's pretty fun, and it's definitely something to do and to kill time. And I have a great time playing it. I think it's really fun, and it's really funny when people send it to me and I get to tell them, yeah, I know, I play that. I think it's fun. I already have it. And of course, people that really know me are not surprised. But if you have an Xbox or a PC and you're looking for something to do and you like doing that, that's a good one. Highly recommend. If you just have a phone and you're looking for something to do, there's an app that you can get from the App Store. I'm not sure if it's on Google or not. It is on iOS. Let me check. I'll check Google here in a second. That's one of the... Oh, this battery's dead. Like I said, the app is called It's Literally Just Mowing. That's exactly what it's called. And it's a little bit simpler format. You basically it takes you from yard to yard, and you're just swiping in the direction you want the little character to go. It's all cartoon based, and you just clean up the areas and clean up the yards, and you can win prizes and upgrades and things like that. It's really fun. It's definitely fun to do while you're wanting to kill time, and you only have access to your phone. It's very simple, very easy, and it's free to play. So that's pretty fun. And like I said, it's something to do during the winter months when I don't have any grass to mow regularly, but I want to kind of just play around with that. It's great. But yeah, that's the lawn mowing simulator game. If you want to send me that video that you find on Instagram or on TikTok, just know I've seen it plenty of times. I have the game. It's a lot of fun. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up this quick segment, and we'll go on into the next one. I'm really excited for it. So catch you on the other end. All right, going to end off this episode with some news out of Florida. I saw this come up today, actually. I wasn't initially planning on having anything else on this episode, but the story emerged out of Florida, and it's grass-related, of course, which is why I'm bringing it up here. But it's not the best story. It's not something that I believe should get any more attention than it already has. I think the attention that it's already garnered is too much, and I'll explain why. This is a local news story out of Florida that has, in my opinion, like I said, gained too much attention. It's already gained national attention. It's out of Florida. I'm obviously in Utah, and I've heard this story. People are talking about it in the lawn care communities that I'm involved in. I'm seeing it circulate on news feeds on social media. A neighbor freaked out at the teenage boy next door after realizing the boy had mowed onto his property, crossed the property line while mowing on the edge of the property line between the two lawns, and he scalped a portion of his lawn. Okay. Listen to this.
Hey! Hey, Ron! Are you that stupid? That's on the property line, you idiot! Hey! Hey, Ron! If you're gonna cut our yard, raise that deck. You're killing the friggin' sod. Are you that stupid? This is good grass, and you're killing it. You're killing it. You idiot! That's on the property line, you idiot!
Can you believe that? Seriously. It's just grass, bro. Gee whiz. There's so much that can be dissected from this. But I think everything I'm about to say boils down to that simple sentence that we all know and love. It's just grass. And the security camera picked all the audio up on that. All that audio you heard was from the security camera. It's just great. I edited out all the news reporter bits in that just so you could hear this guy's reaction and how he totally lost his crap over this. But first things first. This is my first thought. The kid who mowed over the property line, he's 17 years old. What percentage of teenagers or any kids who mow the lawn for their family and I'm not talking about kids who have a bit of a clientele that mow all the neighbors' yards, and have a little route that they mow or a small business. I'm talking about the kids who just want to mow or, that's their chore. And they go out, they get it done, they don't care. They get it done, they're done. What percentage of those kids can actually show you how to identify a property line? I would guess barely any of them, maybe. Now, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. The neighbor needs credit for one thing, the mean one. He's got a pretty good looking lawn. It looks like Bermuda grass, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. But that's all he gets. And that doesn't even matter. There is absolutely no reason to severely overreact the way that he did on this kid. Honestly, I wonder if something happened previously, either that day or this week, that led up to this incident, and him recognizing what happened here was just like the last straw for him. That was it. And he just lost it. Clearly he lost it. But I don't understand how anyone can get so upset over something so menial on your neighbor's kid. Come on. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt for the most part. But man, behavior like this is just terrible. It's completely unnecessary. And I'd like to point out a couple of things that he said that are just not true, and why he needs to cool his jets and get over it and move on, and hopefully apologize to this family. So from what I can see in the video, like I said, it looks like he has Bermuda grass. And if anyone knows anything about Bermuda grass, it is the ultimate alpha grass. It takes nuclear warfare to kill this grass. Scalping it isn't going to kill it. Anyone that has Bermuda grass knows that. Anyone that knows the basics about Bermuda grass knows that. It's temporary. It'll repair itself. Give it a few weeks. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it was a mistake, but it's only temporary. It's only grass. The damage done to the grass will be much shorter lived than the damage done to this kid's self-esteem and confidence, and the damage done to the relationship between these two neighbors. This could have been such a good teaching opportunity for this guy. What a missed opportunity. Rather than losing his crap over this, he could have taught the boy how to find and recognize the property line, and he could have explained to him why what he did was, to put it lightly, wrong. Not that it was really wrong, it was just a mistake. Why what he did was a mistake, and what it means, and explain how much time and effort and passion he's put into the lawn to make it look as good as it does, and he's kind of tainted the edge of it a little bit. He could have been a lot nicer about it, but instead he chose to be a drama queen and involve the local news, because he called the news on this. And the news picked this up because they knew it would get attention. They had a feeling it would get the attention it's getting, which is another reason why I didn't want to talk about this, because he doesn't deserve any bit of attention for his behavior. And now he's getting much more than his 15 minutes of fame. So I can only hope the people who watched that video don't associate the rest of us with someone like him, because that's just not fair, and it's just not true about the people that I know in this community. That's not who we are, and that's not what we stand for or what we believe in. I hope that if this boy enjoys mowing the lawn, and it's not just a chore to him, if he actually likes being out there, I hope that he sticks with it. I hope that he keeps at it. I hope that he continues to mow. I hope that he's able to put this incident behind him. I hope that his neighbor moves. But man, that's just terrible. I can't believe that someone would behave like that. A grown man would behave like that on a young kid. That's just not right. But that's the story. And those are my thoughts. If you have any thoughts that you want to add, let me know. You can comment on the video on YouTube, or you can send me an email and share your thoughts with me. That's fine too. But that is gonna about do it for this episode. There's not much more going on over here. It's really just survival through the winter here. I've been going through, if you haven't noticed, I've been going through past episodes. I've been breaking them down into smaller chunks, whether it's just sharing a complete interview with somebody that's been on the show, or just finding some little hidden gems. I'm calling them recycled clippings. I think that's a good thing. And I'm just sharing those quick little short form content pieces on the YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed on the YouTube channel, head on over to YouTube, look up the Cherish Each Moment podcast, and you can catch those recycled clippings, those short clips, and enjoy those. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying going back in time here. This is one of my winter projects, and I'm having a lot of fun reliving these moments. So thanks so much for listening. It's been really fun. This is going to conclude the first full season of the Cherish Each Moment podcast. Thanks for cherishing these moments with me. Catch you next time.